Hello, class of 2021. This is Mrs. Knapp here to have a discussion with you about what comes next after high school. Some of you are out there knowing what your plan is and the steps to get there. Others of you might not be so sure, and that's okay. I think it's time to start narrowing down your focus and what your next step is once you graduate in May. So basically, the options are to enter the workforce directly into a full-time job, your career, enlist in the military, or continue your education at a college or vocational school. So obviously, there isn't much for me to discuss with you if you're planning to enter into a career. You probably already have a job in mind or maybe even something lined up for yourself. If you're enlisting in one of the branches of the military, you need to do that through a recruiter, and we currently aren't having recruiters on campus because of COVID restrictions. So if you need assistance with setting something up, you can contact me and I can get you going in the right direction. So the focus of this video series is going to be for those of you who intend to continue your education beyond high school. Normally, I would be coming into your classes about this time to go over the information here. So instead of taking up class time and with some of you not being in the building, I decided to do a video series. So there's going to be 6 parts to this video series, and I will cover the basic information that I would have covered in a classroom style presentation. So, you know all those things you've always wanted to do with your life? It's about time to go do them. Wow, it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time. And if college or a certain career that requires college has always been your dream, I want to talk to you about the things that you need to be thinking about and considering in moving forward with that next step. So the first topic, and probably what is on everybody's mind right now, is applying for college during COVID. There are a few items that I think you should take note of and understand and be aware of so that you can make informed decisions. First of all, a lot of the state schools and area schools have opened up a free application period. Some have waived the application fee altogether, and our intention is to send an email summary of those dates and windows out to you so that you could take advantage of that. Secondly, all Illinois state schools have decided to go a test optional, not test blind, but a test optional route. So what that means is that the colleges and universities in Illinois have decided to admit students with or without an SAT score. So it doesn't mean that they're not interested in seeing that score. It just means that it's not required to be reviewed for admission. Understanding each school's test optional policies is really important so that you can make an informed decision about whether to submit your scores and taking the SAT versus ACT and the timeline for that. But what's important to remember is that the colleges are willing and being flexible and working with students because we've all endured changes and issues and things regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. So, there's been some flexibility with deadlines, requirements, everything. And as I said, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to look at the particular schools you're interested in to determine how you should proceed with applying. Something else that colleges have done is really up their virtual presence and offering you lots of opportunities to ask questions and learn things and tour their campuses without ever setting foot there. That may not be ideal, and in-person tours are still available at all campuses, but they each have their own guidelines and restrictions as far as how many people can come, some are only outdoors. It just depends on the particular school, but you can take tours. It's just not going to be those big fall preview days like it might have been in the past. And so whenever you do narrow your focus to the schools that you want to apply to, you're going to have to create an account. Obviously, in order to apply online, you have to set up a username and password. My recommendation is to keep track of these, even if you're only applying at 1 or 2 schools. It can still get confusing and a lot to remember, so keep good records of what you've done. And then, let's just take a look at some of these resources. So virtual tours are being offered at several sites. I've linked one here for us to look at together. You can search up any college that you're interested in. I'm going to look at Eastern Illinois University in Charleston. You can see it pops right up with how to apply, virtual tour, some basic information and facts over here, their COVID-19 response, all sorts of information at your fingertips. Let's click on the virtual tour just for fun. And, this is a really good way, in my opinion, to narrow down the choices of schools that you might want to visit in person, is taking a look virtually first. So all kinds of resources at your fingertips here. Okay. Now, I know you guys have already been exploring these websites for different colleges of interest to you. I just want to point out some things to look for. This is SIU Carbondale. There's an admissions tab. You click that. Basically everything that you could need is found here. Information on different topics, how to apply. You go to undergraduate admissions. Look, it says apply now for free. You can set up a virtual appointment, a campus visit. You can request information. And if you saw that there, it said now through October 31st, your undergraduate application fee is covered. So take advantage of that if SIU Carbondale is one of your schools. You can take a tour from here. Basically the options are limitless if you're willing to just put in the time to look around and make use of these resources. Another example is on SIU Edwardsville's website. They have this preview SIUE option. If you click learn more, you can register for a Zoom version of their preview dates. You can see the dates and times listed. You can also select academic sessions, for example, and you can register for a Zoom with a member of the faculty of the different programs like school of pharmacy, business, engineering, nursing, education. And so not only do they give you kind of an overview of their program, but then they also allow time for you to ask questions. And so you can register for those just by clicking these links. So, that's just the tip of the iceberg there. There's so much out there if you're willing to take the time and look around.